More testimony today in the trial of accused in the pretrial hearing of accused wife killer Tyler McCain, where prosecutors and the defense asked questions about alleged confession.
Plus, what the Tehama County Sheriff has planned to get more people to work in local law enforcement.
A new interview room in Chico is changing how police can help support crime victims.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
New details now. Forward progress has been stopped on a grass fire burning in an industrial area of South Oroville.
CAL FIRE says this one started just after 4:30 this afternoon. We showed you the smoke about 30 minutes ago. And the fire, now that's burned about 4 acres total before CAL FIRE says they got the upper hand on it. Time-lapse video from Alert California's camera shows that smoke. Crews will remain on scene for several more hours to make sure the flames are fully out. They're also investigating the cause. Now a live look also from Alert California. This one by Hayfork Valley Lookout in Trinity County, where we're tracking thunderstorms.
You can see a drop on the lens, but it was pouring rain there about an hour or so ago, and Chief Meteorologist Howie Gordon's tracking those conditions.
Yeah, really, as rain has moved in, if you look at the area, really it's just cloud cover throughout 90% of where we're at here, unless you get into areas of Trinity County where we had strong thunderstorms that really are now just isolated thunderstorms kind of moving about in the higher elevations. But we do have areas of flooding, but that flood advisory was allowed to expire a few moments ago in areas near Hayfork. But you're still seeing, it does, the way it's moving around, looks like it has weakened. The winds have calmed down, and you're not seeing as heavy amounts of rain. Still seeing the lightning and areas of the thunderstorms here. So we'll keep an eye on them, but the good news is the energy is weakening. But let's talk about what's going on in the rest of the rest of the area. Temperature's still on the hot side, but a lot cooler than what we've had. Here's a look at our winds. We are a little breezier today, but these winds actually looks like they've come down just a little bit. Here's our moisture levels. They have come up, and the good news is they will continue to do so. Here's a look at tomorrow. Look at our moisture, way up, winds down, temperatures down. What does that mean? Really, I don't even have a graphic for it. It is going to be less than low for significant fire potential. Not a graphic, but a spot for it. So things are looking good for fire danger as we cool down. We'll talk all about that in a few minutes.
Thanks, Howie.
Tyler McCain, the man accused of murdering his wife, Nikki Saley McCain, was back in a Shasta County courtroom today for day 7 of his preliminary hearing.
Action News Now reporter Blake Mayfield breaks down today's testimony.
Nearly half a dozen witnesses took the stand on Thursday morning, including McCain's former friend Albert Nelson, Nelson's sister Felicia, and McCain's relative Justin Karen. Nelson was back on the stand, facing questions from prosecutors on whether Tyler admitted to him that he killed Nikki last year. Nelson denied that McCain told him to fabricate his story or lie under oath, saying that he made up the story about Tyler's confession to get out of jail at that time. Nelson is currently in custody in the Kern County Jail. One of the most revealing testimonies of the prelim so far came from Felicia Nelson, who told prosecutors that her brother Albert told her last year that Tyler confessed to killing Nikki. At one point, before they played a clip from a jail call Felicia had with her brother, she told the court that McCain is a, quote, good person, and that she loves him to death, and that he's a nice guy who helps out a lot of people. Lastly, Tyler's relative Justin Karen returned to the stand. While there, prosecutors grilled Karen on what it was exactly that Nelson told Karen that Tyler said to him last year. Karen is suspected of potentially playing a part in the disappearance of Nikki, admitting to prosecutors last week that Tyler told him last year that Nikki's Chevy Avalanche and what was in the bed of it both needed to, quote, disappear just days after she went missing. Reporting in Redding, I'm Blake Mayfield, Action News Now.
McCain's preliminary hearing is expected to finally wrap up next Tuesday.
New at 6, there's been another death this season on Mount Shasta. The Siskiyou County Sheriff's Office reports that a man from Argentina died last Friday while ascending from the summit. He's been identified as 45-year-old Matias Travizano. A Sheriff's Office news release says Travizano was one of 3 climbers returning from the summit when he accidentally wandered off the trail. He lost control while attempting to slide down a glacier and disappeared. His body was recovered by search and rescue crews at the 10,200-foot level.
A California Highway Patrol sergeant is accused of violating a court order by failing to surrender a stockpile of about 100 guns while under a domestic violence restraining order in Shasta County. According to law offices of Berg and Associates, Sergeant Timothy Hinkson violated that restraining order for domestic violence filed and secured by his wife. They say he only turned in his department-issued handgun but did not sell or store his personal firearms as ordered by the court. The firm says Hinkson's wife is concerned he could try to retrieve the weapons. Hinkson is scheduled to appear before a Shasta County judge for trial tomorrow.
The Tehama County Sheriff's Office is looking at a variety of ways to increase staffing as it faces a growing and concerning number of vacancies. Action News Now reporter Margot Rowe shows us the latest efforts to fill those positions.
It's no secret over the last few years, public safety agencies have struggled with staffing. And for the Tehama County Sheriff's Office, recently they have seen an increase in vacancies. So the office is making new efforts to try to get applicants through the door.
And if we can't get up to that threshold of other agencies, we're going to continue to be a training ground for those agencies, and we're going to continue to lose people.
On Tuesday, Tehama County Sheriff Dave Kane went to the Board of Supervisors to address the board on an increase in vacancies at the Sheriff's Office due to staff leaving for better incentives at other agencies and the risk it can pose to public safety.
Since April of this year, we've lost approximately 7 personnel to allied agencies, and there's currently 5 other employees that are in the process of testing or in the background process with other agencies. So for about a total of 12.
Kane requested that the board look into a cost comparison analysis to look into how other agencies are paying staff in hopes it would lead to an increase in pay to make the county more competitive and retain their own staff. Supervisor Rob Burrows requested it to be placed on a future agenda. Garrett says no services have been cut, but the Sheriff's Office is looking to get ahead of that with support from the county and for the first time ever, hosting a one-day hiring event.
Instead of having those 2 to 3 week delays between the testing process, we came up with an idea of having a one-day event where somebody can apply, come in, do the written test, do the oral board, and get right into the background process all in one day. We hope that that'll help streamline the process and getting on board with us.
The hiring event will take place here at the Sheriff's Station on September 27th at 8 a.m. And the agency is looking to fill multiple roles from dispatchers to correctional officers, sheriff deputies, and support staff. Reporting in Red Bluff, I'm Margot Rowe for Action News Now.
The undersheriff says more staff will be needed to be brought in once the jail expansion is complete.
New developments. An anonymous source has confirmed with me that 4 Paradise Building Division employees were placed on paid administrative leave as to not compromise any part of an investigation. We told you back in late August when council voted to direct staff to bring back a scope of work for a potential audit of the building division at a future council meeting. We've learned that the audit itself and any contract to conduct such an audit was not voted on. Mayor Steve Crowder and Councilmember Woody Culleton suggested previously that an audit may be related to concerns over some contractors allegedly not following building codes. Now, I reached out again to the mayor today, and he reiterated that he is not allowed to say anything more about a personnel matter, but he did share that while there are a lot of rumors going around, he says most of them are false.
A vigil is planned tonight on the campus of Shasta College in response to last week's shooting death of conservative commentator Charlie Kirk. Action News Now reporter Jesse Angelo is live in Reading. Jesse, the event is open to anyone in the community.
That's right, Alan. The event takes place here in the south parking lot of Shasta College's campus, right in front of the theater here. And the event is organized by Tom Crandall of Hope for America, who says that the vigil aims to unite people regardless of their political affiliation. He also says that people should know that this is not a political rally, but rather a vigil and a worship service to honor the life of Charlie Kirk, and that he hopes that tonight's vigil will help improve the public discourse on the matter and promote hope, love, and peace in the community. Live in Reading, Jesse Angelo, Action News Now.
All right, thanks for that, Jesse. Now, that we'll have much more on that coming up tonight on Action News Now at 11.
We have new information about the water shutoff at Pleasant Grove Mobile Home Park in Palermo. Yesterday, we reported that according to residents, the water had been shut off for weeks. Now, today I spoke with the owner, John Pulis, who says that he lost his permit from the State Department of Housing and Community Development to charge rent due to blighted conditions within the tenants' RVs and surrounding areas. He's making no money off this property, he said. He told me right now no tenant living there pays rent. Pulis says the state told him to get that permit back and charge rent again. He has to go clean up the sites himself. But he doesn't want to touch other people's property and potentially risk an altercation. Pulis told me that back in February, PG&E shut off the power which is needed to pump water through the well. He says he gave PG&E as much as he could, a partial payment, and they restored power until just recently, Labor Day weekend. He also says he's been working with Senator Megan Dowley's office, trying to get help from Assemblyman James Gallagher as well, trying to figure out what his next steps are, but he has not received any direction yet. A woman who survived an attack by the Golden State Killer has helped inspire an interview room remodel at the Chico Police Department.
Detective Thomas Cox is part of the Special Victims Unit at Chico PD, and during his training, he met Chris Pedretti, the 10th survivor of Joseph James DeAngelo. When DeAngelo was caught, Pedretti says she was motivated to help other survivors. She's now the CEO of Phyllis's Garden, a nonprofit organization that supports survivors of sexual assault. One of the ways they do this is by helping police departments offer a more comfortable environment in which to interview victims.
And I thought at that time, I want to pay this forward. How many other Chris's are out there that are still keeping quiet?
Chris presented to my class, and her story kind of touched me, and I found that a need here at the Chico Police Department that a soft interview room would probably really help us and benefit us in doing our job.
Pedretti's organization has redesigned a dozen interview rooms at police departments across California to make them more comforting to victims when they are brought in to give their statements. Chico PD's new room is complete with warm lighting, comfortable chairs, blankets, fidget toys, and snacks and beverages.
A local cadet will proudly represent Northern California when the U.S. Navy celebrates its 250th anniversary. We'll introduce you.